to the Astro Forecast for the week of February 14th to the 20th. Ooh, this is a good week, y'all. So we start off the week with Valentine's Day, and what a week. Valentine's Day is going to set the theme. And the reason for it is this is a heart-centered week. So we are starting off the week with a moon in the second quarter, number one. The moon is in Leo, it goes into Leo very early in the morning, and will stay in Leo for the full moon in Leo on Wednesday. So this day specifically, the moon is making some harder aspects. He's making an opposition, she is making an opposition to Pluto and to Mercury. So this is bringing up frustrations. This is feeling like head versus heart energy. We might be feeling really triggered. You're like, great, for Valentine's Day. Yay, that's awesome. To add a little bit more dynamic to this day is Mercury is moving into Aquarius. Now, Mercury was in Aquarius before, if you recall, before he went retrograde. He was in Aquarius, went retrograde back into Capricorn, and then forward into your Aquarius again. And so this is bringing up, how are we using our gifts and talents out into the world? So Mercury is the mind, our communication, our thought processes, our connections to people around us, kind of closer connections, the groups that our neighborhoods, our communities that we're in. And when we think about Mercury and Capricorn, this is about self-mastery. This is about owning our gifts and talents and shining our light into the world and making them the best that they can be. This is truly a self-mastery. And then when we move into Aquarius, this is about how can we use our gifts and talents now to elevate humanity. Right? This is about humanity's moving forward, our communities moving forward into the world, groups, goals, aspirations, like where are we focusing our energy, our talents now to do something good in the world? And the opposite sign to Aquarius is Leo, right? So Leo is about our gifts and talents. So what's my special gift? What's my special voice out in the world? What do I love, right? It's also children. It's that childlike inner child, Leo. And then how can we then bring that inner child and grow that person up to now be of service and be in the world, be a kind of an authority in the world? And so this is that dynamic between Leo, my talents, my aspirations, my gifts and talents, and Aquarius, our gifts and talents, our shining light, our humanity, our evolution together. So this dynamic, when it's in harmony, we're bringing our gifts and talents and we're shining them into the world, and we master them in Capricorn, and then we bring them out into Aquarius and actually are of service in Aquarius. So when we think about these dynamics, the moon being in Leo, being acknowledge me, acknowledge my gifts and talents, and the moon opposite Mercury is, I know I got to do this thing, but I feel so hurt. I know I want to do this thing for everyone, but I feel like my needs are not being met. And we've had this really interesting evolution in society, I would say, over the last, especially 5 years, is my needs, right? What do I need? And that whole neighborly piece of it has really kind of gone by the wayside a little bit, because we're trying to figure out our needs and filling our own cup so that we can give to everyone else, to be of service. And if our cup is empty, like in a pandemic where we've been isolating and in fear and trying to figure things out, then we don't feel like we can give. And so we're being asked to give, and sometimes we feel like we don't have that capacity. So what I notice in the news a lot is grief, just a lot of grief presenting out into the world, and seeing that grief for what it is. So this Valentine's Day, we're going to go from this methodical, practical mind to being more open, organizing with our ideas, outside the box thinking, progressive, liberal, inventive thinking. So a lot of, interesting, I think, solutions to some of the problems that we're noticing in the news. And, not just, domestically, even looking to what's happening in the Ukraine and this whole polarizing between, Russia and China, and then the rest of the world, right? Like there's this huge polarizing, and Ukraine could be the next, Korea, if we're not being kind of aware of what's happening there. And I think really beautiful, loving forces are at work there to try to stave this off, because no one wants an occupation or a war, but that is what is building over there in the world as well. So there's, again, this humanitarian, Aquarius, and then Leo, what do I need? And so how can we balance the two, which is what the full moon is going to be about. So the other thing to note on this Mercury going into Aquarius, we were at this position already twice this year. So I want you to think back to January 2nd. What was happening in your life that you were thinking about, that you were maybe doing, that you were actively trying to make happen in the world? And then what was happening at that time? And then I want you to think back to January 25th, because Mercury went retrograde over that part of the chart or in the sky, which is that 0 degree mark of Aquarius. And then that would have brought up, what do I really want? What do I really want to align with? Is this truly what I desire now? Because Mercury is like, now you're thinking it, reassessing, reviewing, realigning yourself with, is this what I want? And then Mercury is going to go direct over that point again, but now you're changed. Now you've seen things in a different way. Now you're going to really live it out in the world in a much different way than when you saw it on January 2nd, on February 14th. That is the evolution. That's the gift that Mercury brings. If you can be introspective and aware and be the observer of your thoughts, now you will reap the rewards of that work that you've been doing. So beautiful opportunity. Now, Tuesday, February 15th, it's another turbulent emotional day. Not a great day to have deep conversations, not a good day to hash things out at all. Emotionally, Moon is going to be square Uranus. So we want to rebel. Might have anxiety. We really want to be free to just explore. And we feel like we're being constrained. And that's not going to help a lot of things in the news. And then the Moon square opposite to Saturn is about our authority. We want to rebel against authority. Like, I don't want to clean the kitchen. I don't want to fold the laundry. True story. So that's going to come up for you on Tuesday. So maybe a lighter workload on that day and more like fun things that bring joy to your life. February 16th is the full moon in Leo. So this is heart energy. And if you're wanting to join me, I'm going to be doing a full moon manifestation workshop. We'll talk about the astrology by the sign. We'll do a law of attraction worksheet and handout. And we'll do a meditation to help with that heart energy out into the world, because that's what we need more of right now. So this full moon is happening at 9:56 a.m. Mountain Standard Time at 27 degrees of Leo and 56 minutes, almost the 28th degree, which doesn't really mean anything, but it's at the end degrees of Leo. And so this moon is bringing up things that you set intentions for on August 8th, 2021. That was the new moon in Leo. So look back on your life. This is why I love cycles and why I love astrology. August 8th is going to give you a little glimpse into what's coming to fruition now in your life. And the moon is in Leo and the sun is obviously in Aquarius, right? We're in Aquarius season now. Happy birthday, Sol Aquarius. Not for long. We're going to be moving into Pisces very soon in this week as well. And so when we think about the moon versus the sun is our egoic identity. This is how we feel about ourselves. I am Sheetal. I have Sheetal is my ego. I have this hair. The way that I look is Venus, but this is my identity. So that's the sun. And the moon is, I'm a loving, kind, empathic, intuitive person. And I cry at Hallmark movies. And I feel very deeply about the plight of children and people who are racially discriminated against, because I am one of them sometimes. Sometimes I've had that. And I'm also privileged because I have lighter skin. So when I think about those two dynamics, right, this is who I am as an identity. Here's who I am maybe as a woman, your divine feminine, your intuition, your emotions. And that's why full moons are so turbulent, because these two parts of ourselves are pulling on each other. And really it's about, can we integrate them on this day? Can we understand what's coming to light? So full moon, shine a light. It's a culmination. Secrets can come to light. So I think there's going to be some secrets in the news, you know what I'm saying? And then it's also going to be this culmination understanding of yourself in a new way. And it can be, if you're introspective. This is also about love, self-love, self-compassion, love, heart energy shifting from the mind into the heart, right? Aquarius is such a cerebral sign. And with Mercury at the beginning degrees, it's just like, we're so up in here. And can we come back into the heart, right? That's going to be huge. So what's kind of adding to this dynamic, it's kind of a wild thing. So not only is Pluto coming still in aspect with Mercury, and that's been for the last 2 weeks and still going to be for this week, which means Pluto is intensifying our ideas, intensifying our thoughts, our words, our actions, kind of stemming from those words. So when you think about what's being said out there right now and the rhetoric and people who are triggered in trauma, the words are cutting like a knife because it's just so deep. It's also a really great time for introspection and understanding why our society is doing what they're doing, why people are on the platforms that they are, and can we understand and see the grief on both sides of the fence and put ourselves in their situation and realize, wait a second, we're not so different after all, right? And what assumptions are we making that are then dividing us? So this Mercury, the other thing that's quite interesting is Venus and Mars are on the exact same degree. It's 16 degrees of Capricorn. This is about us feeling like this can be holier than thou energy, to be honest, right? This is like, I know what I believe in. I know what's right. And this is not right, right? And it's kind of making us more fiery about what's right, Capricorn, what's right. And it's trining to Uranus, which is like rebellion, eccentricity, wanting to revolt and be, it's these bigger ideas, right? Ingenious ideas. So when we think about this actions being kind of energized by Mercury, changing the rules, changing the law, wanting to have that. And again, depending on your mindset, you can feel like, no, I want to change the world by coming together and sending out more love, or I want to change the world to create more division because I want people to know what I stand for and people need to know. Two different things. So when we think about now, the biggest part of this whole full moon, and I'll describe it more in my workshop and on the posts when the day comes around. But the full moon, so the full moon, and the sun are going to be exactly squaring the nodes of the moon. So the nodes of the moon are karmic destiny and our karmic past. The south node is our karmic past. The north node is our karmic destiny. And when they form these squares to each other, it's like a square. They form a square, and we call it a grand a grand cross or a grand square. So, and the grand square is in fixed signs, y'all. Fixed signs are stubborn. I mean, you know what? It's good to be a fixed sign is longevity. It's hard work. It's practicality. It likes to kind of continue and see things through to the end. That's great. That's great. When we have 4 major kind of points in the sky on a full moon in fixed signs, we start to feel like things aren't going to change. We feel like I can't change my thinking. I don't care how much evidence you have. I know what I know. That's Aquarius as well. So, love to my Aquarius friends out there. But it can be very stubborn. And so we are starting to see the dynamic of this and why heart energy is needed more than ever. Can we bring more heart to this so that we're not feeling like this is a catastrophe? It can be determination, it can be tenacity, sticking to, but it can also be sticking to your truth, right? Digging into the truth. People might feel like issues of the heart come to light now. And again, just feeling like you're not being acknowledged, not being seen, not being heard. I mean, I think half these things would go away if someone said, I hear your sadness. I'm sorry you're going through this. How can we help you to mitigate this in some way? Here are some other options available to you, right? I mean, I think there's more there, of course. It's a dynamic situation. And it's interesting because Pluto with Mercury, Pluto is in Capricorn, is government policies as well. So we're going to see some government policies likely changing at this time. We'll also see COVID numbers coming down. So those mandates were already going to change because based on COVID numbers and hospitalizations. So there's just this quality of wanting to be free, right? And don't we all want it? Don't we all want that? I think when we come to, we call it chunking up in NLP, is that we understand that we see ourselves in everyone. We all want this to be over. We all want to minimize loss of life. We all want to minimize mental health issues to our children and to ourselves, money issues, right? We're seeing so many things becoming more and more expensive for various reasons. And it's creating a lot of scarcity and fear. And can we acknowledge that fear? And can we come together, Aquarius, to then pull in some policies to help each other, help society? So Thursday, February 17th, Jupiter is sextiling to Uranus. This is about freedom, wanting to be free, wanting to do things your way, opening up our consciousness. This could be long distance travel as well, kind of thinking about travel into the future. Where do you want to go? Planning a trip somewhere maybe. This could indicate as well that border rules may change so you can travel more. And this is amped up intuition too, by the way. So because Jupiter's in Pisces. And then Friday, February 18th, which is my dad's birthday, is the moon moving into Pisces. The sun moving into Pisces, the sun. So the sun moving in Pisces, happy birthday, all the sweet Pisces out there. Pisces is immutable water. Think about water filling in a jar of marbles. Like it just goes wherever it desires. They are very sweet, sensitive, creative, artistic, lovely. People who are very sensitive to energy in the world as well, sensitive to the moon. If you are a Pisces watching this, definitely following the moon cycles is so important to you. And they're really motivated by sort of wisdom and compassion and the healing. It also rules the 12th house, which is about kind of therapy, healing, inner work, wisdom, selfless love, devotion, empathy. Those are all Piscean words. So as we're moving into this, February 18th is a very intuitive, powerful day. And the shadow side, though, of all these beautiful qualities is escapism. Right? Life is too hard. Let me escape into music. Let me escape into drugs and alcohol. Let me escape into an inner world that daydreaming and not being, it's disassociation. It can also be self-pity, feeling victimized, and elusiveness, right? Just kind of like, I don't want to commit to anything, So that's interesting because again, it can play out in Pisces in their most beautiful is artistic and creative, and they create things in the world that make people like so happy. It's therapy, right? It is therapy. Art, when you think about art as an example of Pisces, it is therapy, right? If you ever gone to an art exhibit and talking about the plight of people's lives, or it's healing not only to do it but to witness it and to feel that energy coming off that. Like that's very Piscean. So, and then February the 20th, which is the Sunday, it's a bit of a volatile day. I'm going to call it a volatile day. We just are feeling like we want to be of duty, but our relationships aren't really going well. We can be very frustrated, and we can get some misinformation, or we can misunderstand situations that are happening on this day. So on Sunday, I would just be cautious as to having big conversations or deciding anything big on that day. Just kind of taking it easy on the Sunday. So this is a dynamic week, y'all. We have 2 planets changing signs, including the sun. That's a big one. And then we have a full moon in Leo as well. So bring in that heart energy. You can't go wrong with thinking, what would love do in this moment? If you're scrolling on social media and you're like, oh, I want to do the thing, and you're like, wait, what would love do? Love would say, sending you light and passing it on, and just scrolling on it, not doing anything, and turning off social media, putting on some music that's heart filling, doing something for your heart and your soul that makes you feel full and lovely and happy. Maybe putting on Golden Girls. They said that before. I love Golden Girls. All right. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for being here. I hope my forecast helped you to navigate the energy of this week, make some really great decisions for yourself. Think of astrology as the weather. It's just what is in the energy of the moment. And can you plan accordingly? Take an umbrella when it's going to be raining, or wear a nice t-shirt when it's going to be hot, kind of thing. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Bye.